So I was looking for something better than the standard Uling or charcoal that they sell at the markets here in the Philippines, and I ran across these Coco Inferno briquettes made from coconut shells, and they put a binder in it, probably like cornstarch or something, to make them a nice solid block. Check out the review on these things. I think you're gonna like them. They're located in Mandaue, Cebu, so you can order and get them delivered to Lapu-Lapu or Cebu. All right, let's try a new product today. I do a lot of barbecuing, and this is what you get at the local market. This is charcoal, or uling as they call it, and this is supposed to be a ½ kilogram bag, and it sells for about 20 pesos at the market. Now this is made from coconut husks. So they take these, they press them together with a binder, and they're supposed to last about 3 to 4 hours. So your standard wood charcoal, it lasts for about an hour and a half. I've timed it, it's about an hour and a half. This is supposed to last for about 3 to 4 hours, and they're hexagon shaped. We'll check them out in a minute, but let's weigh everything while it's in the bag first. And let's see, this is 1 kilogram for 50 pesos. Total, together, that would be 1 kilogram for 40 pesos. Let's check out the weight. All right, and we're on, I don't want ounces, let's get grams. So look at that. That's not even close. That's look at the ant. Where did ants come from? There we go. So that's 261 grams for 20 pesos. They tell you it's ½ a kilo, but it's not. And that's 251 grams. Another ant? What's up with that? 251 grams. So you're looking at about 500 grams for 40 pesos. So they tell you it's about ½ kilo, but it's not even close. That's like 500 and something grams. That's not a lot at all. Okay, now let's see if this is true to its weight. These are 50 pesos for 1 kilo. Wow, that's pretty close. 992 grams. So that's almost a kilo. I'm gonna say that's a kilo. So if you actually compare it, what they're selling you at the market for 20 pesos for a little bag like this, and that's barely 500-600 grams right there, 40 pesos, and then you get a full kilo of this stuff that's supposed to burn twice as long. Wow, what a great deal. And of course, these are better for the environment. They get rid of the coconut husk trash, and you don't have to cut down any trees to make them. These are from Coco Inferno Briquettes. That's in Mandaue, Cebu. So you can order them online on Facebook. I'll show their Facebook page if anyone is interested. Alright, today I'm going to be smoking some chicken, cooking it under medium to low heat. I've got some hickory wood chips. I've got the coconut charcoal briquettes. And of course I've got my barbecue. Alright, they gave me some strips that I can put underneath the charcoal to get them started. I'm going to try those first, but I'm still going to do it in the charcoal chimney. So if you don't have one of these, you should definitely get a charcoal chimney. So this charcoal chimney, you usually put paper underneath. You put all of your charcoal in here, you light the paper, and the charcoal chimney will keep all of the heat right here in the center of your charcoal. It just heats them more evenly and faster to make it better to the barbecue. And instead of putting paper into there, I'm going to try the little strips they gave me. So Coco Inferno Briquettes in Mandaue, Cebu, gave me these. Maybe they're soaked with alcohol or something, but we are going to find out. So instead of putting a paper bag crumpled up in the bottom of this, I'm just going to set this in here. Actually, I probably should get some paper to light it. Or I'll just light it and start setting some charcoal briquettes on top of it. And I'm going to use this whole bag of charcoal. Usually I use 2 of these bags from the market, 2 of these bags of Uling, just a regular wood charcoal, and that'll keep the barbecue going for about an hour and a half. And these only weigh about 500 to 600 grams total for both of these. This thing weighs almost exactly a kilogram. That's a lot heavier, and these are a lot more densely packed. So let's take them out and take a look at them. Alright, the bag's opened up. Check these out. They're in a hexagonal shape. They've got a hole in the center of them. they're heavy and they're dense. So I'm going to put all of these in, and we're going to slow cook some chicken and make the best chicken you've ever had. Alright, it looks like about 12 pieces. There are about 12 pieces for 1 kilogram. Alright, I'm just going to put a little piece of paper under here just to get that lighter starter that they gave me. Or maybe I'll just light it from underneath. Let's see if I can do that. Alright, so I've got my torch lighter. This thing works great. You just press down, you get a torch that'll work in any kind of wind conditions. I'm going to try to get the edge of it. Looks like that heating pad is struggling to get lit. There we go. It's kind of going now. Let's leave it here and see what happens. Let's take a look underneath and see what that heating element is doing that they gave me. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's some kind of alcohol soaked something. It was really firm, so it must be alcohol soaked and then dried. We'll just leave that under there and see if that does as good as a job as paper bags. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. I don't have any flames coming up, but I can see it's slowly working its way up. So I've got a better trick. Usually for this charcoal starter, this charcoal chimney, I'll take a piece of brown paper bag and just put some used cooking oil on it, and then wad it all up into a ball and stick it underneath. Let's see what the difference is from the little starter to this. Alright, let's do it. Alright, let's burn that paper. This is how I usually light it. Just ball up a piece of paper. Sometimes I put a little bit of oil in there, just used oil. Let's give that a minute and then check it and see what the difference is. Alright, this is not more than 30 seconds later. And like I said, with the charcoal chimney technique, I like that a lot better. Those little pads are great, I guess, if you're going to set it just in the barbecue and put the coals on top of it and you want it to go nice and slowly. But look at that. Just a little bit of paper from a brown paper bag, a little bit of vegetable oil on it, used vegetable oil, and those are going to be heated up to white hot probably in about 10-15 minutes now. So today we'll be cooking up some chicken quarters, and I've got soy sauce in here, salt, pepper, a little bit of teriyaki, and I let that sit for about 3 hours or so. And then got some tomatoes we're going to grill too. Put a little seasoning on these and just let them sit here while we're waiting for the charcoal. And that is jalapeno seasoning. This is good stuff. Alright, it's time to check. Let's see if there's any difference now. Oh yeah, look at that. Some of them are white hot already. The flames are a lot higher. So just getting them started with that paper bag with the vegetable oil on it helped a lot. So here's what's cool about the Coco Inferno briquettes. They're a hexagonal shape, so a hexagon. So they stack up and they stay where you put them. That's pretty cool. And they've got holes in them so that air flows in through those holes. Now before we do anything, you see I made this. This is my separator because I want to have a hot side of the grill here, and then I want to have a cooler side here. And if you're wondering what this was, it's a little pan of water. I'm going to put that pan of water in there. Let's see if I can do it with one hand while holding the camera without burning myself. There we go. Alright, and what that pan of water does is I set the chicken up on the grill above the water, and as it gets hot in here, it actually makes the water evaporate, goes into the chicken and keeps it moist. And I guarantee you that's going to be some super moist chicken. So let's put our grill back on. And then here's another great tip. I've got 4 vents in this. One on the bottom, one on the top on the right side. I'm going to leave this one closed. So I want the air to flow in through here, go across the charcoals, and then go out this vent over here. So I'm going to open this vent. So I'm keeping that one closed, that one open. That'll let the air flow through there. Another cool thing about this barbecue is as the charcoals are going, you can leave this door open, and at our house the wind blows from this way across the hot tub and right there into the barbecuer. So if there are any gusts of wind coming in, they come in and they'll just fuel that fire even better. And of course I can adjust this up and down to where I want it. I just want to get the chicken in there now, throw some wood chips on it, and get it smoking. Then we'll come back and check the temperature. These are supposed to be a lower temperature charcoal, but great for slow cooking or smoking, so I just put them in there. I just grabbed a handful of hickory wood chips. You can get those on Lazada. And usually I have a box that I put in here, but I want to keep more of the heat, so I'm just going to sprinkle these over. It'll take a couple of minutes. Those will start smoking. I want it. Let's check it out real quick before I close it again. And yes, I do want those tomatoes right on top of the fire. I actually want those tomatoes to burn. And the chicken is going to stay on the cooler side of the grill. So I'm going to let those tomatoes burn just on the front side, and then I'll set them up higher on the grill. So that's right around where I want to keep the temperature, between 250 and 300. That's perfect right there. I'm sure it'll get a little hotter later because I just raised this up. You can see I've got this handle. I can crank it and it lowers the charcoal down, or I can crank it the other way and it raises it up. I'm going to raise it up a little bit, get it close. But keep in mind all that smoke, that's not from the charcoal, that's from the wood chips I put in there. I wanted it to smoke. Here's a quick tip for your wood chips. This is that wood chip box I was talking about. I didn't use it this time. I just threw the chips right on because I wanted it to smoke right away. Usually, well, this, as you can tell, it's well used and dirty. But you put your chips inside of here. There are holes all along the side, all along the top, and you set those right on top of the charcoal. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes before they start smoking, and the smoke lasts a lot longer because they're being burnt and dried up inside of this box. But if you want instant smoke and you just want to overwhelm your food real fast with smoke, do like I did and just throw them right on top. So here it is about 40 minutes later. The temperature is still between 250 and 300. I'm slowly cooking this chicken. Look at that. That looks good. Still got those, or I put the tomatoes back over the heat. Alright, let's check the temperature. Make sure you have a good thermometer, not one of those cheap ones. It should be an instant read thermometer, or one that checks fairly quickly. Let's put it in that meatiest part and check it. The chicken should be, oh wow, that's Fahrenheit. There we go. It should be 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can see it's still got a ways to cook. Let's try one way down on the end. So that one's cooking a little faster. Yeah, they're all pretty close, between 130 and 140. So you want it to be 165 before it's safe to eat. One thing I like about these Coco Inferno briquettes is that they're super consistent. Look at that, the temperature's still just under 300, and that's right around where I want to keep it. Between 250 and 300 is perfect for slow cooking and keeping all the juice in the chicken. So look at the charcoals, they're still red hot. Tomatoes are just how I like them, and that chicken's almost ready. Alright, I started the charcoals about an hour ago. Took about 10 to 15 minutes for them to heat up. So that means the chicken's been sitting on here for about 45 to 50 minutes. It's still right around 300. Alright, I think the chicken should be done now. Let's check it. Yep. We're at 165, 169, 170. Let's make sure they're all about that. That's the biggest, no, that's one of the fat pieces. Let's try that one. That's the biggest piece. That's 170. Yeah, we're good. Alright, here it is. Barbecued chicken with tomatoes and of course rice because we're in the Philippines. Alright babe, try it. Try that chicken first. Go. Oh, that looks juicy. Look at that. Try it. How was that?
Nom, 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 nom.
Alright, my turn. Let's try it. So you can see because it's slow cooked, look at that moisture in there and look at that skin. That's awesome. Wait, let me get a piece. Let me try it. Oh wow. That's better than num num num. That's delicious. So that's soy sauce, a little bit of teriyaki, salt, pepper, lemon, and then I sprinkled jalapeno seasoning on it. Wow, that's good. That's the best chicken I've had all week, all month, maybe even all year, maybe even since I've been here in the Philippines. Alright, I'll keep coming back to the barbecuer. we'll keep checking it and see if these really last 3 hours. So right now we're going on an hour and a half. Check them out. They're still white hot. Let me turn off this flash real quick, or the light. So without the light on the camera, now you can see. They're still burning. There's still flames coming out of them. They're still holding their shape. They haven't fallen apart. And usually the regular wood charcoal, or the Uling that's made from wood, that is falling apart. That will have fallen apart already by an hour and a half. These are still solid, holding their shape. We'll keep coming back and checking to see how long this charcoal actually lasts, and it's still super hot. Charcoal's still going strong. Let's see if the hot tub has cooled down any. Well, it's good. It's at about 103 degrees. That's about perfect. Alright, I'll come back. Time to take a break from the hot tub and check the temperature. It's now 2 hours later. So the temperature is still right about 300. Actually just slightly over 300. And look at the charcoals, they look the same. That's awesome. They still have the same shape. There's still a lot of glow. And those holes in the center, I think, are really making a difference. They're letting that air flow. And they're still flames. Alright, I started the coals at 9 p.m. They were hot enough to put on the grill by 9:15. It's now 11:30. And look at that. It's still right by 300 degrees. Look at those coals. Alright, so here it is after midnight. It's about 12:10 in the morning. The temperature is still, let's get an angle, about 270 degrees. Wow, that's pretty good. So that's 3 hours, more than 3 hours and 10 minutes. And look at those charcoals. They're still holding their form, and they're still red hot. Oh yeah. So you can definitely slow cook or smoke for a long time. Hey, another good thing about these, if you thought about it, you can just take one of these charcoal bricks and put it on a hookah, you know, the ones that you smoke, and that would last you like 3 hours plus. They've gone more than 3 hours so far. The temperature is kept up to close to 300 degrees the whole time, so I'm happy with that. Let's just see how much longer they'll last. Alright, we're still at about 220 degrees, and now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So we started at 9 o'clock in the evening, lighting these. So about 4 hours. And look at the charcoals, man. They are still glowing hot. So I would say that's the cutoff period right now. So you're not going to cook a lot of food at 200 degrees. So I'm going to say that 4 hour mark is the max. It stayed at the 300 mark at about 3 hours. And now it's almost 4 hours, or actually it is 4 hours now. So it's still at 200 degrees, which for slow cooking and smoking is good. But check it out. Those charcoals are still going. Let me turn off that light. Now you can see the glow. And they've all held their form too. Look at that. Alright, now it's 1:30 a.m. It's about time to go to sleep. And the temperature is just under 200. Like I said, you could probably still keep some food warm in here and smoke it at 200 degrees. And look at the coals. They're still holding their shape. Hey, we'll see you guys. Look at the coals. They're still holding their shape. They're red hot in the center. Once again, these are coconut briquettes. Alright guys, I'm going to have to give these coconut briquettes a thumbs up. These are Coco Inferno briquettes. They're in Mandaue, Cebu, and they deliver to Lapu-Lapu. They deliver around Mandaue and Cebu. This is definitely cheaper. I'll post how much the regular Uling is when you buy it from the market, and how much they weigh, and how much these are, so you guys can compare for yourself. But definitely you can see it's like 1:30 in the morning now, and this is still at 200 degrees. Alright, here we are the next day. Check out these charcoal briquettes. They're still holding their form. So the cool thing is that when you fan these or you blow air on them, they don't fall apart like the standard Uling or the standard wooden pieces of charcoal that you get. These ones hold their form, so there's no ash flying around in the air. I bet if we touch them they fall apart though. Yeah, look at that. Now you touch them, they fall apart. But they hold their form the whole time. And look at that, they burn cleanly. There are no chunks of wood left in there. Everything is a clean burn. Alright, let's check out the two different kinds of charcoal. This is the first one that you get from the market, also called Uling. It just means charcoal. But let's check it out. So this is what you get from the market. They're just super lightweight, lumped pieces of wood that have been charred or carbonized. So this is your standard Uling or charcoal. Here are the new charcoal briquettes. Let's check them out. And these are all hexagon shaped. They've got a hole through the center and they're heavy, which means they're densely packed. And you saw from the test that these things burn a lot longer. So this charcoal, this is good for about an hour and a half worth of cooking. The good thing is that with this charcoal, you can get your temperatures up higher, but you really don't want to cook your food all your food at 500 degrees. You'll just dry it out and burn it quickly. But if you do want to cook something on a higher temperature, this is what you want to use, but it's good for about an hour and a half. So I usually use 2 bags of this. It gets me about an hour and a half worth of barbecuing. On the other hand, oh, it's heavy. This bag weighs 1 kilogram. We weighed it, it's almost exactly 1 kilogram. And as we tested these last about 3.5 hours at 300 degrees, and the temperature is very constant. And then once it hit 3.5 hours, the temperature dropped down to about 200 degrees. And then at some point while I was sleeping, they eventually went out. So they stayed at 300 degrees all the way up to about 3.5 hours of using them. And then the last half hour I checked, they were down to 200 degrees. That means they were just starting to die out. So if you want to do some slow cooking, keep your moisture in your food, or you want to smoke food, or you want to just cook longer, these are definitely the better bet. So 50 pesos for 1 kilogram of these, and they cook more than twice as long, and imagine this, they're a lot better too. The way they're made, there's no smoke. Well, you saw smoke coming out of my barbecuer, but that's because I was using wood chips. I was smoking my chicken. But besides that, there are no ashes. There's no smoke that comes out of these. So as you're fanning them, that's how you do your barbecuing. If you fan them, you don't get any ashes flying in the air, and it's not smoky like when you drive down the street and you see everybody barbecuing. There's smoke coming out, blocking traffic and getting in your eyes, making it hard to breathe. So these are great for your health too. Alright guys, there's your comparison. I hope this helped you decide or even choose if you want to try these new charcoal briquettes. 100% I'm going to be using these. As soon as I burn up all the rest of those, or maybe I'll use them together till they're gone, I'm going to be using these exclusively. They last way longer and they keep a very consistent temperature, real close to 300 degrees.